Hello everybody and welcome back to another episode of the Sir Alex Ferguson Challenge with West Ham. In today's episode we are going to be playing a live comm of a Premier League game, which is something I don't usually do, at least in the middle of the season. But before we get into that, there's the little case of a Champions League first knockout round draw to do. Right, so we're here. We are one of the seeded teams, obviously, because we finished top of our group. We went through it last episode, what sort of teams we would be facing. Who do I really want? I want Red Bull Leipzig. I want Inter Milan. Not Inter Milan, AC Milan. That's who I want. Obviously, we can't get Inter Milan. We can't get Man United. Where is the other English teams? Did they all finish top of their group? Yeah, they did. Liverpool and Chelsea. So, ideally, Red Bull Leipzig or Milan. But honestly, the way we're playing this season, I fancy us against any of these. So let's click on automatic draw and let's see what happens. There's somebody being drew yet? AC Milan out first. They have got Chelsea, so one of our preferred targets are already out of the draw. Inter Milan have got Liverpool. That'll be an interesting game, actually, with Godwin Sunday playing for Inter Milan and Liverpool being the holders. Barcelona, oh, they get Manchester City. Barcelona is somebody who I would like to avoid, same with Juventus, and we've avoided Juventus. That is fantastic. Bayern, I will probably take Bayern. We've played them before. Not going to happen. Red Bull Leipzig is still an option. They get Roma, so we get Borussia Dortmund now. I know Borussia Dortmund have a striker who I do actually want, and he's very, very good. Where is he? I can't find his name. Has he been sold? He might have been sold. So Kai Havertz is listed as their key player, and as you can see, he has developed into an absolutely world-class attacking midfielder. They did sell Jadon Sancho, who was a long-term target from us in the summer transfer window, so that's very good for us. Jadon Sancho, one of the best wingers on the game. This was the striker in question, George Mendler. He is worth, you can get him for 69 million because of a minimum fee release clause. And I was someone who I was looking at when we just had loads of money and nothing to spend it on. But I decided not to go for it. He's not having a great season in terms of goal scoring. He's only scored 5 goals in 21 games. But you can't doubt a guy with this sort of quality who's only 20 years old. So having a look through the squad, it is obviously a squad full of talent, as you would expect from a top German club. They are second in Bundesliga this season so far, just behind FC Bayern, but they are actually title holders at the minute. So clearly a really good side. They've got some really good players. Am I that disappointed by the draw? So, Borussia Dortmund in the Champions League will be an interesting challenge, but after that triumph against Inter Milan in the final game of the Champions League group stage, we then had Wolves away in the Premier League and we won 3-1. It was a very tight game. Fabio Silva gave us the lead in the 11th minute, but Will Hughes equalised almost straight away. And after that, it was a very, very tight game. We weren't creating many chances. Joshua Wagner managed to get a goal in the 40th minute, and the second half happened. It was very tight affair, but Sandro Tonali eventually secured the victory with a 94th minute goal to make it 3-1. Next up was Crystal Palace, and again, another tight game. Listen, look at the stats. They are not creating anything. But when we are conceding, it's not from a team that's creating loads of chances. It's from when they get that one chance and they get that goal. So to only win this game 1-0 despite our dominance was a little bit frustrating. But Brent Beckiart got himself on the score sheet in the 9th minute. He then got himself injured and he's out for 4 weeks. Wagnerman got himself injured. I think he's out for 8 weeks, or it might be a reverse. It might be one or the other. But yep, Wagnerman's out. Brent Beckiart's out. 2 key players for us really. But we've got the people in behind to be able to slot in. Next up was a home game against Southampton in the Premier League. Aaron Martin gave us a 1-minute lead. Lucas Toussaint doubled our lead in the 28th minute. And that was basically the end of the game. I don't think there was another highlight in the rest of this match. Exactly the same again. Plays Southampton in the Carabao Cup quarter-finals. We won 2-0 again. De Paula in the 18th. Alexander Isaac in the 62nd. Another win in an FA League Cup semi-final, first to come in January. We then went away to Watford in the Premier League and managed to win 3-0. Fabio Silva in the 37th, Alexander Isaac in the 47th, and Emerson, who was playing quite a lot because of Wagnerman's injury, in the 50th. And finally, the biggest win of them all, Chelsea are one of our title rivals this season, and we managed to beat them at home 2-0. Alexander Isaac got both goals in the 40th minute and the 72nd minute after Frank Kessie got himself sent off in the 26th minute, which really gave us the advantage. And the Premier League table is looking like this. It is looking absolutely fantastic. We are 7 points clear from second place Manchester United. That win against Chelsea secured our place in the top 2 by 15 points, which is unbelievable. And yeah, things are just going really well for us this season. It finally feels like things are starting to click into place in ways where it hasn't done in previous seasons. So in terms of today's game, we are going to be playing Brentford away from home in the Premier League. And this is how we're going to line up. Craig Davies will start in goal. Luis Felipe, Reece Oxford and Jonathan Panzo are going to start today's game. Lato is going to be our right wing back as Emerson is suspended. And obviously Wagnerman is injured. We'll just quickly check how long he's injured for. He's out for another 5 weeks. So yeah, he's out for quite a while. Aaron Martin will, of course, be our left wing back as Tony Lato is on the right. Tonali will be our defensive midfielder. No, he won't. Toussaint and Tonali will swap. Toussaint will be our defensive midfielder. Tonali and Ronaldo Vieira in the centre. Alexander Isaac and Moise Keane will lead the line today. Brentford come at us very, very defensively. They've still got the likes of Sir Guy Canos. He's been there forever, hasn't he? Since 2015, 2016 on loan to them. Yeah, so obviously a defensive side. We're going to have to be at our best to break them down, but we'll see how we get on. So we kick off against Brentford. We are shooting from right to left in this first half, and we need to keep our run going in the Premier League. You know, it's going to be very easy to start slipping up in these sort of games where you would expect us to win. And in previous seasons, that has been something that we have been guilty of. We do have a lot of injuries. Both of our first choice strikers are out for today's game. Our first choice right wing backs out for today's game, as is our second choice. So it is a bit of a mixed match of players who are considered first choice and who are considered backup. But Brentford are in 19th position in the Premier League, so we still should have enough to get past them today as we keep on with this highlight. Toussaint tries to find Lato in the box, but it's cleared by Densui, but only as far as our defence. As we go again, oof, that was very risky. If we'd lost the ball there was definitely a breaking opportunity for Brentford as Aaron Martin gets the ball on the left-hand side. He goes to the byline. Alexander Isaac, he's just missed an absolute city. You would have put your mortgage on him scoring that goal. But it's a good start. It's nearly half-time. But it's a decent first half in terms of domination. But again, we're not creating and they are defending quite well. And there we are. It's half-time. It is 0-0 going into the second half. Shall we make the change to the more attacking tactic and get Danny Olmo on? I think we will. We're going to get Ronaldo Vieira off for Danny Olmo. We'll put him in attack and midfield. We'll see how we get on. We really need the win. I don't want to draw against Brentford. We haven't drew all season. Have we drew one game? Maybe one. Highlight very early on in the first half, 40 seconds in. I want to demand more from the boys, but it's currently unavailable. Tony Lato coming down the right-hand side. He's going to have to get back onto his left foot, or is he? Aaron Martin. Tonali, he hits the bar. Alexander Isaac follows up. Is he offside? He is not offside. Alexander Isaac makes up for his sloppy miss in the first half, and Tony Lato does really well to get this ball in. Does he use his right foot? He must have. Yeah, he does, and it was a decent ball in as well. Aaron Martin, then Tonali back to Isaac. Really unfortunate for Tonali. That would have been a great goal. But as long as it goes in the back of the net, I don't care. 60 minutes in now, and we have another highlight. Brentford are currently in possession, but they lose it out to Tony Lato. It was Danny Olmo, actually. And Moise Keane takes the strike, but it was never going in. Another highlight, but the keeper claims. Oh, we did not win the header, and they are in behind. That was a terrible, terrible shot. If they had scored that way, I think we would have drew this game if they had scored. 15 minutes to go. We will make a couple of more changes. Aaron Martin is going to go on to the left. Aaron Martin is going to come off. We're going to get Rob Holden as our right wing back and switch Tony Lato onto his preferred position at left wing back. And we are also going to get Sandro Tonali off for De Paula to save his legs a little bit. There's 10 minutes to go. Similar story to a lot of our other games where we dominate the game in terms of shots and possession, but we don't make them count in terms of goals scored. There's 3 minutes of added time, 20 seconds remain. This should be the final highlight of the game, and hopefully it's just going to lead to nothing. And it looks like it will. We are 93 minutes in now, ref. Blow the full time whistle. There it is. West Ham 1, Brentford 0. 3 points comes back to us. We probably extend our lead at the top of the Premier League, and we're laughing. So after that win against Brentford, we are still top of the table, still only 7 points clear as Manchester United won their game as well. 15 points clear of Chelsea in third and 18 points clear of Liverpool in fourth. And round up of the other competitions, of course, we're in the first knockout round of the Champions League, we're in the semi-finals of the League Cup, and we're in the third round of the FA Cup. So looking forward to the next episode. It is going to be a January transfer window episode, so we won't live com any games. I don't have any major plans in terms of January transfer business, but we do have £75 million in the bank with £400,000 available in the wages. We've of course got some regens coming in who we've signed over the course of seasons gone by. And a lot of our players are actually wanted by big clubs. Alexander Isak wanted by a lot of clubs. Same with Tony Lotto. Declan Rice has handed in a transfer request. That's something I didn't mention. He's not getting the game time, which I understand. It's going to be disappointing to lose him as he is a homegrown English player. But if an offer comes in, I can't turn it down. Luis Felipe is wanted as well, and I'm sure the likes of Danny Olmo is also unhappy at the lack of playing time. I'm sure he would get interest. So we'll see what happens in the January transfer window. You will be joining me for the full ride. So anyway, if you have enjoyed today's video, please consider leaving a like, and if you're enjoying my content, get yourself subscribed. But until next time, take it easy.